Welcome to the Wednesday Wisdom Podcast with Jason Shee from Life in Motion Coaching. I'm your co-host Sarah, and today we're talking about urgency and how it makes us feel like we're achieving something.
That's right, Sarah. Did you catch this week's Mountain Monday session?
I did, and I really loved the jar principle. Big rocks first, sand last.
Well, today we're going to be unpacking something I believe is quietly stealing purpose from some of the most capable people I coach. Senior leaders and executives, the people who are winning at work and they know it. But one of the biggest dangers is living in urgency.
It's interesting because urgency doesn't always feel like a bad thing. To me, it can sound industrious.
That's why it's so dangerous. Urgency can make us feel like we're achieving something. We're constantly responding, checking, answering, solving. We're busy all day, but busy isn't the same as productive.
So what do you think is the difference?
Well, productivity moves you towards your future, where urgency simply reacts to today. And what we find is that the most urgent things are created by someone else's priorities. Emails, texts, phone calls, and even simple requests. None of those things are necessarily wrong, but if we spend our whole day reacting, we'll never build the future we're actually called to create.
But here's what's strange. These are often people who are brilliant at protecting priorities at work.
Exactly. And that's the part people miss. It's not that senior leaders don't understand big rocks. They enforce big rocks all day for their team, for their board, their clients. The discipline is real, however, it's only borrowed and it actually belongs to the business. They don't seem to build a version for it that belongs to them at home.
So the same person who will cancel a meeting for a client's emergency will let a family dinner slide for the third week running.
Because the business has a structure enforcing it. The client will notice and will probably call you out on it. The family, however, they rarely say anything. And then one day they just stop expecting you to show up at all.
And that reminds me of something else I've heard you say. If you don't decide your priorities, someone else will.
So think about your calendar. It tells the truth. It's not showing your intentions or your goals or your vision. Your calendar tells you what you've actually decided matters. And that can be confronting because most people say their family is important and their health is important. But when you look at their calendar,
those things often don't even appear.
That's right. Urgency has crowded them out. And here's the trap for high performers specifically. The more successful you get at work, the more urgency you attract.
So the gap between the calendar and the values can get wider the more you win professionally. So how do we stop living that way?
It starts with one simple question. Before I begin my day, what are my big rocks? Not what needs my attention, but what deserves my attention. Because the inbox will always refill. There will always be another phone call or another meeting or another request. But today's opportunity to spend time with your children, to exercise, or the opportunity to invest in your marriage, you'll never get today back.
So urgency isn't really about time, it's about priority.
You've got it. We all get 24 hours in a day. The difference is what we protect. Successful people don't eliminate urgency. They simply refuse to let urgency replace importance, and they stop waiting for someone else to enforce that, the same way their business does.
So if our listeners remembered just one thing from today, what could it be?
Well, the one thing I want everyone to hear is don't organise your life around what screams the loudest. Organise it around what matters most. Because every day you choose your priorities, you're shaping your future. And nobody's going to enforce that structure for you at home. That one's on you.
Okay, so I think that's a great place for us to finish today. Thank you everyone for joining us for Wednesday Wisdom. If this conversation encouraged you, share it with someone. Or if it hit home and you're someone who's winning at work but feels like they're losing anywhere else, contact us at the website lifeinmotion.biz.
Thanks everyone. I'm Jason from Life in Motion. Until next Wednesday, keep moving.